Good morning, children. How are you? I hope that you all are writing everything in your copy and keeping your copies up to date with beautiful handwriting and filling your index properly with dates on which actually the videos are there. Okay. So, and one more thing, actually, I want to make it clear that the exercises which you can do in your textbook, please do that in your textbook only. Don't write the textual exercises in your notebook. Okay. So what you will do in your notebook: word meanings, writing sentences, then question answers, the writing section, all these things you have to do in your notebook, and rest which you can do in your textbook, please do that in your textbook only. Okay. So let's start our poem that is by one of the greatest poet, Rabindranath Tagore. Day by day I float my paper boat. So before going to start the poem, we must know about the poet. So that is Rabindranath Tagore, who has given us that Jana Gana Mana. And he is only the poet actually who wrote the national anthem, not for only for India but also for Bangladesh. Okay, Amar Bangla, like that. Okay, so we must be proud of that. He is one of the poet whose this national anthem actually is there in two nations. Okay, so he was born on 7th of May 1861, Bengal, at that time British India. Died in 7th of August 1941, aged 80. Okay, resting place, that is Neemtala crematorium, that is called. Pen name actually he is also known as Bhanu Singh Thakur. He is not only poet, a playwright, an essayist, short story writer, composer, painter. So what a great personality actually he was. His notable works were Gitanjali, great it was, Gora, Ghare Baire, Janagana Mana, that is our national anthem, then Rabindra Sangeet, and Amar Shonar Bangla, that I told you actually that is a national anthem of Bangladesh. Okay, he got Nobel Prize in Literature, first Indian actually to got received in 1930. But one more thing actually you must know about Rabindranath Tagore. When it was that Jallianwala Bagh massacre actually it was, so he returned this Nobel Prize in the honor of the Indians. Okay, so he returned it. So he is really a true patriotic, that we can say. Okay, and spouse name is also given, Mrinalini Devi, and children, their introduction is also there. You can see here actually on the slide their name. Okay, so now moving towards the explanation of this poem. So let's start that. Day by day I float my paper boat. The poet Rabindranath Tagore has titled the poem as Day by Day because in the poem he talks about the advances that have been done in the past as well as the ones that are to be done in the future. He talks about how praying has increased our knowledge and continues to do so. He has addressed the poem to God and suggests every reader to thank God before starting their day. Thus, he named the poem as Day by Day. So let's see what is there in the poem. Day by day I float my paper boats, one by one down the running stream. In big block letters I write my name on them and the name of the village where I live. I hope that someone in some strange land will find them and know who I am. So here a child, he sees what he's doing there. So he's floating his paper boats one by one in the stream. And not only that, but he's writing his name as well. Okay, so what is the purpose behind it? Writing the name, his name, and the village name, because whosoever will get this boat, that means this boat will sail far away actually from here. Okay, so whosoever will get it, and he hopes that someone, and where actually this boat will reach, that strange person will come to know about that whose it is and where actually this child lives. Okay, so this is what the child wants to convey through this poem. I load my little boats with shuli, flowers from our garden, and hope that these blooms of the dawn will be carried safely to land in the night. Shuli is what? It's a night flowering jasmine. Okay, so here day by day he floats paper boats down the running stream that we already discussed. He'd send them in intention that they would reach some distant lands off. Okay, out of curiosity he writes his name and address on these boats. Why? Because he hopes that somewhere someone will find them and know him. The child has deep sense of love. He wishes to present his unknown friend with valuable gifts. That only actually he expressed in these lines, that he loaded his little boats with shuli flowers. Shuli is a night flowering jasmine. Okay, he took those flowers actually from his garden. And what was his hope? He hoped that somewhere someone will find them and know him. So that's why he wrote his name on it, and even the village name. The child has deep sense of love. He wishes to present his unknown friend with valuable gifts. So that's why he loaded shuli flowers. So he hopes that his boat will carry the flowers safely to the distant land in the night. Okay. Now these are the answers of the questions in the previous page, in the previous slide. What was the first question? Think of the speaker in the poem. How old do you think he is? How can you tell this? As in the poem actually it was already, from the picture we can say that it was a boy. Okay, so what else? How we can tell? Because he is so small and nearly of 6 to 9 years age, because the age, like here in the answer, the speaker in the poem seems to be a small child, perhaps around 6 to 9 years. He is young enough to float paper boats and expect them to reach strange lands, but is old enough to write his own name. So that means he is able to write his name well. What is the second question? Where does the speaker float his paper boats? It's already given there, down the stream. Okay, so the speaker floats his paper boats down a stream. Then third question, why does the speaker write his name in big block letters? So why we write in big block letters? So that anybody can see it clearly what it's written. Because the speaker, that means the child, actually wants the strange person to know that whose boat it is and from where it came. That means that's why actually he has written the villager village name. The speaker writes his name in big block letters so that someone who finds his boat will know who it belongs to. Okay, now the next question is, what does the speaker in the poem put into his paper boats? Why does he do that? Surely flowers, that means. Okay, so the speaker puts surely flowers into his paper boats. He does it so that the boats carry these blooms of the dawn safely to land in the night. Okay. Now, what is the fifth question? Would you like to make a paper boat and write your name and address on it? Which flowers would you like to put into it? So that's up to you. Okay, so would you like, what's your, that means this answers will vary. So can you draw a picture to go with this poem? Okay, you can draw the picture of paper boat in your copy. Okay, please write down all these answers. 4 questions answers you have to write. Okay, 5 6 it's up to you. So 6 you have to write. Okay, paper boat you can draw of whatever choice of color you have, right? So this you have to do. Here's the summary of the poem. The poem narrates the child's experience of floating paper boats down the stream. The child imagines that some other child tries to compete with his boats by sending clouds down the air in the sky. Day by day, he floats paper boats down the running stream. He sends them with the intention that they would reach some distant land. Out of curiosity, he writes his name and address on these boats. He hopes that somewhere someone will find them and know him. The child has deep sense of love. He wishes to present his unknown friend with valuable gifts. So he hopes that his boat will carry the flowers safely to the distant land in night. So this is actually incomplete poem. It's little more it is there, but as it's in your syllabus it's up to this only, so that's why we are keeping up to this only. Okay.
Day by day, I float my paper boats, one by one down the running stream. In big block letters, I write my name on them and the name of the village where I live. I hope that someone in some strange land will find them and know who I am. I load my little boats with surely flowers from our garden and hope that these blooms of the dawn will be carried safely to land in the night.